श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहनाववतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति। So yesterday we saw समासमाभ्याम विषमसमे पूजातः. This is a mantra. It's a upadesha, it's a teaching from Gautama Smriti. Okay, this teaching is regarding the non-partaking of food, in whose house or from whom you should not eat. That was explained. That is the topic. In that, under that topic, this is one of the teachings. It says in a house where that person does this kind of worship. So what is that? So he explained everything in detail. In just finally he says uttamasya heenadaya heenasya uttamataya pujataha hetoho tasya pujayitoho annam abhodyam bhavati ityartha. That is where he concluded this teaching. He said uttamasya heenataya, in a house where the respectable ones are disrespected, heenataya, disrespected, and in a house where heenasya uttamataya, the disrespectful ones are worshipped with respect, the respectable ones with disrespect, and the disrespectable ones with respect. Wherever they do this kind of worship, unequal worship, so that kind of worship, wherever they do, tasya annam abhodyam bhavati ityartha. We should not eat it, partake food from that person's house. Pujita pradatti vishesham akurvan dhanad dharma cha hiyate iti cha doshantram. See, there in the end he explains also this, that this person, because he is not having a clarity, he is wasting both his money and his dharma. He loses both money and dharma, his punya. So that, but I am a sannyasi, I don't have food to give to others, therefore I don't have to be worried about it. Nor should I be worried about the loss of dhanam, the wealth. I don't have money. See, since the sannyasi, while taking up sannyasa, he gives up the fire, he is not cooking for himself. That is the rule. That is how they live, which is not possible in this period. That is a different issue. But the point is, that is how they live. They don't have they don't cook for themselves, so they cannot share their food with anyone. One. Second, since they don't have any wealth, they don't lose anything. So why should I be worried about this kind of teaching? If you say, though it is true, still स्वतएव न विद्यते तथापि धर्माणि दोष भवति. Though he will not be affected by the first two things, partaking of food or losing of wealth, but still he will lose his dharma. That is a definitive. So abhodyannatvam cha ashuchitvena papotpatti upakshanam. See, abhodyannam, what do we say? He should not eat from his house. What does that mean? Because that is the place where the sin takes springs to life. It is a house of sin. So tapodhananam cha. See, for him, the normal grahastha, he will lose his wealth. But a sannyasi does not have any wealth, but his tapas, his penance, his wealth. Therefore, he says, tapएव dhanamiti tad hanirapi dushanam bhavatya. So he will lose that tapas, that is his wealth. He will lose that wealth, which is penance. Therefore, evaiti katham samadarshinaha panditaha jirmuktaha iti prapti. So how can you say this samadarshi, this pandit, he is a jivan mukta, etc.? How can you say that? If you ask me, we will say pariharati, we will negate this defect. इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. We started with this in the last class itself. Iha eva, in this very life, taihi jitah sargah yesham samye sthitam manah निर्दोषम ही समम ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः. Here itself they have gained victory over the sarga, the creation. Sarga means creation. Okay, sargah, creation. By whom? Yesham samye sthitam manah, for whom the mind is in samya. Samya means equanimity. For whom the mind is in equanimity, they have gained victory over this creation here itself. Ihaiva nirdosham hi samam brahma, and the Brahman is defectless, changeless, samam. It is same in everything, everywhere. Tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Therefore it is said that they are established in that Brahman, because they have that equanimity and Brahman is equal. Therefore they are established in that Brahman. Taihi samadarshibhihi panditaihi ihaiva jivana dashayam eva jitah atikrantah sargah srijyate iti vitpatya veita prapancha. Taihi, who are you referring to? They. Who are you referring to as they? Samadarshibhihi, the people who have this samadarshina, this equanimity of vision, they. Panditaihi. Pandita, we have been repeating again and again. Pandit means a person of knowledge. See, normally this term pandit is used for people who excel in some any art or any science. They are referred to as pandits. So musicians are referred to as pandit, this pandit, that, etc. See, in North India, if you wear white and white with a tuft and with this forehead mark, etc., they will refer to you as pandit. Panditji. Panditji is a person who does puja, etc., in the temples. So they will refer to you as panditji. So this pandit is not that pandit. This pandit is a person of knowledge. So that person of knowledge, jivana dashayam eva. Jiv muktah means jivana dashayam eva, while living, while being alive, jitah, he has won. One means atikrantah, he has crossed over. Crossed over what? Sargah, this creation. Why is it referred to as sargah? Srijyate iti vyutpatya, that which is created. Because of this expansion, this explanation, it refers to the dvaita prapancha, the world of duality. Dehavatad urdhvam atikramitavya iti kimoktavya. So should we even explain that he will cross over after the death, after the body drops off? Is there any need for saying this? Even while being alive, he has already crossed. Should we again say even after death? There is no need. That is why he says there is no need. Kaihi. Who are you talking about? Yesham samye sarvabhuteshu visheshameshu api vartamanasya brahmanah samabhavi sthitam nischalamanah. See, in whom the mind is established in equanimity in both people with respect and people of disrespect. In both of them, it is in equanimity. Samabhavi sthitam manah. Nischala, without being disturbed, perturbed. This mind is established. Hi yasmat nirdosham samam sarvavikara shunyam kutastha nityam ekam cha brahma tasmat te samadarshino brahmanyeva stha. Since yasmat, definitely, because since nirdosham, defectless, samam, equal, sarvavikara shunyam, devoid of any change, transformation, kutastha nityam, that which is ever established, ever like anvil, changeless like anvil, eternal like anvil. See, you place an iron on this anvil and hit it with a hammer. The iron which is placed on the anvil transforms, changes its form, not the substratum, the anvil. That anvil is called as kutastha. Kuta. Anvil is called as kuta. So, like that kuta, this self is changeless. Therefore, it is called as kutastha. Kutastha is another name for Brahman, the substratum. In the scene of the creation, Brahman is the base, and there the Maya etc. exists, and the creation comes into existence as a reflection in that Maya. Now here, Kutastha is that which is reflected upon the ignorance in the Jiva. So Kutastha is Brahman. Basically, that's the idea. Brahman. Since that Brahman is changeless, transformationless, therefore, this person who is having this equanimity, he also is that very Brahman. Samadarashino Brahman, yes, they are also established in Brahman. Brahma vidu Brahma eva bhavati. The Shruti very clearly says the knower of Brahman is verily that Brahman. Similarly, here also he says Brahmani Tesita, they are established in the Brahman. Who? That knower of Brahman. I am Bhava. This is the idea. Dushtatvam hi dvedha bhavati. Adushtasyapi dushta sambandhat swato adushtatvacha. Wow. See, being with defect. Dushta means a defect, with a defect. So this something with a defect is possible in two forms. While I was explaining, in Tamil I remembered a brahmachari who was named Tushta Chaitanya. Tushta means happy. Tushta. But in Tamil etc., the tu is also the is basically the all is referred to only is written as only the. So instead of reading it as Tushta Chaitanya, people often misread it as Dushta Chaitanya. Dushta means defective. So that defect is caused by two possibilities. Either in itself, naturally it is defective, or because of being associated with something which defects. Like the thread which you use to bind the flowers, the thread, cotton, or even the thread which is removed from the banana things. That is how they do here in South. Nowadays they start using thread. In olden days, they used to use this banana branch. They have this sheath, different sheaths. So you remove and you split it, that sheath, that cover which is there on the banana. When you remove it, it will be like thread. So that is the thread which they used to use. Whether it is that or even the normal thread, cotton thread, they don't have any smell of it, their own. But when they are used to bind this flower, that smell of the fragrance of the flower is superimposed on this. It also gains some fragrance. Similarly, here too, he says, Yatha Gangodaka. He is himself giving the example. Yatha Gangodakasya Mutra Murta Garta Patad Swata Eva Yatha Mutradehe. So there are two defects, two possibilities of defect. The first defect is said. See, when the water of Ganges falls in the urine pit, or when the urine pit falls in the Ganges, that area, or your by nature this urine itself is a defective. Okay, so it smells bad, etc. See, while explaining this in Tamil, I remembered this incident. I was in Kashi once, long back. So Manikarnika Ghat is on the other side of Kashi, And on the banks itself, on this side of bank, we have this Kumara Swami temple. There was one South Indian saint lived long back, Kumara Gurupara. His name is Kumara Gurupara. He went there, he got this place and he built an ashram and a temple there. So the temple is built on the banks of Ganges. Kumara Swami. Kumara Swami is Kartikeya, Muruga Lord Kartikeya, Ganesha's brother, younger brother. So I went there, I had darshan of this Kumara Swami, and then while you circumambulate at the other side, one side the road, the other side is Ganges. So you can go, there are steps constructed for this, the Ghat area, so you can go there to Ganges. So since it was evening time, I decided to do the evening oblations, my Sandhya Vandana on the Ganges. My bad. So what happened is I went there and the Ganges water is there, so I just spilled it so that the dirt area is disturbed and I can take sip of the pure water. So I drank one sip of water and then I was about to drink the next sip. Smelled very bad, a urine smell. I was like, what is this? I smelled this Ganges water and it was smelling very bad. I was like, what is this? I saw there is a big tunnel from which the urine is falling directly into the Ganges. So this area is completely polluted by that urine. The whole urine of that section of Kashi is directly flowing into Ganges. That is the situation in Ganges. Now I don't know. So the thing is, that area is completely polluted. Either or directly the urine itself is defective. It has this bad smell, etc. Tatra doshavatsu Shwapakadishu Stitam Tad Doshaihi Dushyati Brahmaiti Mudaihi Vibhavyamanamapi Sarvadosha Asamsprishtam Eva. It is not Asamsprishtam. Asamsprishtam Eva Brahma Vyomavat Asangatva. See, Tatra Doshavatsu Swapakadishu, in the dosha, that which is defective, like the Shwapaka, etc., the Chandala, etc., the dog eater, we explained yesterday. Sitam, the Brahman which is established there, which is existing there, that doshe dushyati brahmaiti. That Brahman will become defective because of the defect in that person. Mudaihi vibhavyamanapi. This is what these idiots think. That the idea of those idiots, though they think like that, sarva dosha asamsprishtam eva brahma, though they may think like that, but in nature the Brahman is not associated with anything, therefore it will not become defective because of association. Vyomavad, like the space which is not associated with anything, therefore it will not become defective. Asangatvacha, and the Brahman is asanga, non-associated, untouchable. I translate it as untouchable, I say. Asangohi ayam purusha, the Brahman is unassociated, non-associated with anything. That Purusha is Brahman. This is the statement the Sankyans take and establish. The Purusha of Sankhya is a Asanga. Purusha is basically self here. Okay. Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu na lipyate chakshakshe bhakya doshaihi ekastata sarvabhutantaratma na lipyate sarvadukkhena bhashyaha. Iti Shruti. The Shruti also establishes this. It says like the sun, which is the eye for the whole world, is not afflicted by the defects of the objects of eye. Chakshusaihi, the objects of eye. So the defects of the external objects, it is not afflicted. Similarly, the one non-dual self, which is self of everything, that is not afflicted by the defects of sorrows, etc. of the individuals, external objects, external individuals. नापि कामानि धर्मवत्तया स्वतएव कलुषितं कामादेः अंतःकरण धर्मत्वस्य श्रुतिसिद्धता. Okay, the external objects may not affect the Brahman. Fine, I am okay with it. But the internal, your desire, etc., that is from the Brahman. It is springing up from the Brahman. Therefore, it is definitely going to afflict your Brahman. If you say that also cannot taint my Brahman. Why? Because those desires, etc., are established by Smriti and Smriti to be an attribute of mind. The mind, it is of the mind and it is not of the self. Tasmat, therefore, nirdosha brahmarupa yatayah jivamuktaah abhojya annadi dosha dushtaschaiti yartam. So, therefore, this food from the jivamuktas should not be partaken. This what is said is negated. Anna tasmat nirdosha brahma rupa yateh. The atheists, the sannyasis who are defectless self, of the nature of defectless self, they are self. Therefore, that jivamuktaah abhojya annadi dosha dushtascha, they are afflicted with these defects of abhojya annatva. Abhojya annatva means the food from whom the food should not be partaken. This kind of defect is not afflicting them. That which is said is negated. Vyahatam is negated, removed. Smriti tu avidvad grahastha vishya eva. You have to understand this Smriti is not referring to the vidvad, vidwan. It is referring to the avidwan grahastha. Not even avidvad yati, sannyasi. It is talking about the ignorant grahastha. How do you know? Tasmat tasyannam abhojyam iti upakrama. It begins with you should not partake food from this person. It starts with that. Then pujata iti madhye nirdeshat pujata षमसम. With this it refers to the worshipping, etc. Worship, etc., devotion, etc. can be only for the grahasthas. Okay, the grahasthas are the people who worship the superior and inferior, not the yatis. And dhanad dharma chahiyate iti upasamharacha. And in the conclusion portion also it says this person who eats food from, partakes food from that person, that kind of person, this kind of whatever is said in the list, he will lose his dharma and dhana, his dharma and wealth. So, in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end, whatever is said, it refers to only to that kind of person, not to any other person. So, we have these pointers in introduction, in between, and conclusion. So, this refers to the grahastha who is avidwan, ignorant. Therefore, it will not affect this vidwan. Yasmat nirdosham samam brahma tasmat tadrupam atmanam sakshat kurvan. Since the Brahman is defectless and equal, non-dual, therefore, by having the immediate knowledge, by having the vision means by having the immediate knowledge of that self as his own individual self, na praharshet priyam prapya na udvichet prapya cha apriyam sthita buddhi asammudaha brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. Na praharshet priyam prapya na udvichet prapya cha apriyam sthita buddhi asammudaha brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Very clearly said brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. That is the statement here. He says na praharshet priyam prapya. He does not jump off joy by gaining something which is desirable. Na udvichet prapya cha apriyam. He does not become broken by gaining something which is undesirable. He does not become a person of sorrow. He is not sorrowful because of gaining something which is undesirable. Sthira buddhihi. He is one with equanimity, established mind. Asammudaha, without any delusion. Brahma, with this knower of self, Brahmani sthita, he is established in that self. Dukkeshu anuudvignamanaha, sukeshu vikataspradha ityatra vyakhyatam purvatham. The first portion, the first line, he does not jump out of joy when he gains happiness. He does not become broken when he gains something sorrowful. This is already explained in the second chapter, 56th shloka. Dukkeshu anuudvignamanaha. In sorrow, he does not break. Or sukeshu vikataspradha, he is not afflicted by the happiness, etc. There we saw. जीवमुक्तानां स्वाभाविकं चरितम् एव मुमुक्षुभिः प्रयत्नपूर्वकम् अनुष्ठेयमिति वदितुं लिंग प्रत्ययो. See, in the second chapter itself we said why are we explaining about Sthita Prajna. We explained there very clearly. Whatever is the inherent nature of the Jivamukta, swabhavikam means inherent nature, that which is natural for the Jivamukta, that charitam eva, his activities which is natural. Mukshubhihi, for the seeker, prayatna purvakam anushteyam, he should have to practice it with effort, putting wholehearted effort. Iti vaditum, to show this, to say this, ling pratyayo, there are two ling pratyayas used, declensions, verbal declensions, two verbal declensions, prahurshet, udvijet. There are two ling pratyayas which are used to establish this. Ling is a pratyaya, it's called vidhi pratyaya. Vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adishta samprashna, prarthneshu ling. In these meanings, so there are different meanings: vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adishta samprashna, prarthana, etc. See, to request, you have to use a ling pratyaya. To give an injunction, order, you have to use ling pratyaya. Nimantrana, amantrana means with respect to invite the compulsory invitation or optional invitation, both. So in all these places you will use ling pratyaya. So this ling pratyaya is used. Two ling pratyayas, pratyayo, they are used here to show that we have to definitely practice this. A seeker should definitely practice the inherent nature, whatever is the natural thing for the Jivamukta. अद्वितीय आत्मदर्शनशीलस्य व्यतिरिक्त प्रिय अप्रिय प्राप्ति अयोगात् तन्निमित्तौ हर्षविषादौ न तन्निमित्तौ हर्षविषादौ इत्यर्थः. See, for the one who is experiencing the non-dual self, for him, since there is nothing other than the self, therefore there can be no experience of happiness or sorrow. So this is explained only from the standpoint of Ekajivavada. Remember that this is Nidhyasana text, it is only referring to the Ekajivavada. Okay, so since once he realizes he does not see any duality, there is no possibility of happiness or sorrow. Advitiya Atmadarshanam eva virunoti. How do you say? He is explaining that immediate knowledge which is talking about the non-dual self. The immediate knowledge of non-dual self, that is explained here. Sthira buddhihi, like in the previous mantra, tad buddheha tadatmanaha, etc. He said, similarly he is explaining here. Sthira buddhihi, sthira buddhi means sthira, nischala, sannyasa purvaka, vedanta vakya vichara paripakena, sarva samshaya shunyatvena, निर्विचिकित्सा निश्चिता ब्रह्मणि बुद्धि यस्य स तथा. So sthira buddhi, what does sthira buddhi means? Sthira means nischala, sthira means steadfast, nischala means without disturbance. So steadfast without disturbance, chanchala rahita is nischala. Chanchala means disturbance, nischala means without disturbance. With the mind which is established without disturbance. Which kind of mind? Sannyasa purvaka vedanta vakya vichara paripakena. The mind through the renunciation, which is established, renunciation and the fructification of the Shravana and Manana, Vedanta Vakya Vichara, the inquiry of the Vedanta Vakya, the statements of Vedanta, Sarvasanya Samshaya Shunyatvena. See, by renunciation, through the renunciation and through the inquiry of the Vedantic statements, all his doubts are destroyed. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. All his doubts are destroyed. So therefore, nirvichikitsa nishchita brahmani. Without any doubt, his mind is established, determinedly established in that Brahman. That person is referred to as Sthira Buddhi. Labdha Shravana Manana Phala Idyavat. The idea is he has gained the fruit of Shravana and Manana, listening and reflecting. Fine. Etadrishasya sarva asambhavana shunyatvepi vivarita bhavana pratibandhat sakshatkara naudeti. See, as said earlier, the Shravana and Manana removes the asambhavana dosha, the defect of asambhavana, the possibility of non-existence of self. The self cannot exist, etc. These kind of doubts are removed. But still, the viparita bhavana means the doubt that the Brahman is this, the Brahman is that, etc. The contradictory idea of Brahman, that is still there, that is not negated. Therefore, how can he become Jiyan Mukta? How can he gain the immediate knowledge of self? So he cannot gain the immediate knowledge of self. For that doubt, nididhyasana maha. He is explaining the nididhyasana through asammudaha. Only through nididhyasana this viparita bhavana can be negated. Therefore, he is talking about asammuda. He is non-deluded. Nididhyasanasya Vijatiya pratyaya anantarita sajatiya pratyaya pravahasya paripakena viparita bhavanaksya sammoha rahitaha. He is devoid of this sammoha, delusion, which is also referred to as a viparita bhavana, viparita bhavanaksya, that which is named as viparita bhavana. That kind of delusion is a nididhyasana paripakena, is destroyed through the fructification of nididhyasana. That's it. But what is nididhyasana? Nididhyasanasya. What is nididhyasana? The second part is the definition for nididhyasana. Vijatiya pratyaya anantarita sajatiya pratyaya pravaha. Vijatiya pratyaya anantarita. Anantarita means disturbed. Anantarita means non-disturbed. That which is not disturbed by any different thought function. Vijatiya pratyaya means some different types of thought function. Sajatiya means samana jatiya, similar type of thought function. Pravaha, the similar type of thought function which is not disturbed by a different kind of thought function. That flow is called as nididhyasana. Okay, like when you think about pot, it's only pot. It is not blue pot, red pot, or a big pot, small pot, etc. Not even that. Pot. Not also cloth or something else. It's only pot, pure pot, nothing else. So that kind of flow of thought function regarding a simple single subject, single pointed thought function, that is called as nididhyasana. That is the result of nididhyasana. Okay? Tataha, therefore, and that removes the viparita bhavana, the contradictory ideas. ततः सर्व प्रतिबंध अपगमाद ब्रह्मविद ब्रह्म साक्षात्कारवान. So since there is no obstacle for the immediate knowledge, he gains the immediate knowledge of the self, brahma sakshatkaravan. That is referred to as brahmavid, the knower of self. Vida jnani is the root word. Vida jnani. So he knows, he understands, he gains the knowledge of the self. Tatascha, therefore, after that, what does happen? What happens to samadhi paripakena? Through this samadhi, the fructification of samadhi, this samadhi, Vedanta samadhi, nirdoshe same brahmani eva sthitah. na anyatra iti. He is established in that one non-dual self and not in anything else. To show that Jin Mukta is the Brahmani Sthitaha, he is established in Brahman, that is said. He is Jin Mukta, he is who is Sthita Prajna, he referred to as Sthita Prajna in the second chapter. Etadrishasya Dvaita Darshana Abhavat Praharsha Udvego na bhavatah. For this kind of person, there is no vision of duality. Therefore, there is no possibility of jumping out of joy or broken by the sorrow, etc. Na bhavata iti uchitameva. Therefore, that is right. There is no defect in saying that. Sadhakena tu dvaita darshane vidyamane api vishaya dosha darshanadina praharsha vishado tyajyo iti abhipraya. See, for the one who is established in the self, it is okay. He does not see the duality, therefore he is not disturbed by the duality, therefore he may not have the happiness or sorrow. But for the seeker, this is definitely a problem, because he sees the world of duality. So for that he says, Vishya dosha darshanadina, through seeing the defects etc. in the objects, he should have to give up this tyajyo, he should have to give up what? Praharsha vishado, the grief and the happiness, he should have to give up. And this is how should I do this? This is explained in beautiful way in Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam, the text called Durvasana Pratikara Dashakam by our Panchadashikara Vidyaranyani Bhagavan. Very beautiful. It's a small text. One should have to study that. Study by study. Don't prescribe reading. By study, we mean listen to it. No. बाह्य विषय प्रतीतेः अनेक जन्म अनुभूतत्वेन अति प्रबलत्वात् तदासक्त चित्तस्य कथम अलौकिके ब्रह्मणि दृष्ट सर्व सुख रहिते स्थितिः स्यात्. When we say we have to be established in the Brahman without being disturbed by anything else, immediately the first doubt for everyone is this. This is not a doubt, this is a problem for everyone. They immediately present this and they block themselves from experiencing this. What is the doubt? Oh, what is the doubt? Do we have that doubt? Don't you doubt. You definitely have this doubt. How? He says, Bahya Vishya Pratitehe, the external objects which are seen, the experience of external objects, Aneka Janma Anubhutatvena, is experienced because of the thought imprints of previous many births. Therefore, Ati Prabalatvat, it is very strong. The thought imprints are so strong that I see the world even after trying to negate it. Therefore, Tad Asakta Chittasya, the mind which is attached to that strong thought imprint, how can that mind be? Katham Alokike Brahmani. How can that mind be relieved from that and be associated with this Brahman, which is Alokika, which is nothing of the sort which is seen in the world. Laukika means something of the world. Alaukika means which is not of the world. Means drishta sarva sukha rahite, that which is devoid of any kind of happiness experienced here. How can one be established in that? Because we say Brahman is a Sukham Brahma, Anandam Brahma, etc. Yes, true. But immediately we do explain that that Ananda which we said is not to establish Ananda in Brahman, but to negate the sorrow in Brahman. Itra Vyavartaka Rupena Ananda. That is what we say. Ananda is Itra Vyavartaka. It negates the opposite. Meaning, really Brahman is not of the nature of bliss. Now, Paramanandarupatwadi chet. Oh, that is of absolute bliss. If you say no, tada anandasya anandabhutattvena, that bliss cannot be experienced through any pramana. Chitta sthiti ahetutva bhavata. See, I cannot experience through any pramana, perception, inference, etc. Nothing I can experience this self. This self, if it is experienced through any pramana, then there is experiencer experience duality. It cannot be self. It cannot be experience of self. Therefore, since it is not experienced through any, and that is why the Shruti very clearly says, Mano vachama gocharam. It is not something which is objectified through mind or speech. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha. Taittiriya Upanishad very clearly says, from which the mind and speech or sense organ or speech returns back without grasping it. Therefore, since it is not objectified, it cannot be experienced through any sense organs, any pramana. Therefore, how can I be established in that? Chitta sthiti hetutva bhavat. I cannot. There is no reason for being established in that self. Yes, something which I have not experienced. How can I say, okay, this is where I have to be established, or that is where I have to establish? No, this is impossible. Iti cheta taduktam vartike. This is what is explained in Vartika also. Apyananda shruta sakshat manena avishayi krutah drushtananda bhilasham sa namandi kartum apyalam iti. Beautiful. What does he say? Api anandah shrutah. The Shruti very clearly establishes the Brahman as of the nature of bliss. Sakshat manena avishayi krutah, and that which cannot be immediately experienced through any pramana. The Shruti itself establishes that too. Now, that bliss which cannot be experienced, drishta ananda abhilasham, the desire for the objects which are seen here, experienced here, sa na mandi kartum api alam, even to dull it. See, not to destroy that desire, even to dull that desire, this is not useful. Which is not useful? This non-experienceable bliss of the self is not useful to even dull the desire for the experience of world, experience of duality. When this is the doubt, Bhagavan says, Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma chin vindatyatmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Bahya sparsheshu asakta atma bindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Bahya sparsheshu, because of the association with the external objects, one who is attached to those things, bindati atmani yat sukham, atmani in the mind, in the self, whatever experience of happiness he gains, sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshnute, akshayam ashnute. That one who is endowed with, one who is endowed, one is established in that self, he experienced that bliss, undiminishable bliss, akshayam, the bliss which does not get destroyed. That kind of eternal bliss, absolute bliss, he experiences. Indriya, etc. So, we have already established the experience of bliss, which you think as bliss is not of the object, it is of the self. If it is of the object, then it should give you the same amount of bliss at all points of time. The same baby, which is even to hear the papa, mama, like that, even the first words of the baby, which gives you the happiness equivalent to that of the heaven. Even those words, those very words will become disturbing when you are concentrating, you are doing some serious job. When you are in a video call, not unofficial, even official. when you are in an official video call, in non-official you will be disturbed. Not now. So those things then which gives us happiness, or food or something, some music, those things which give us happiness, that becomes a point of disturbance. So we'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.